All right. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hey, everyone. It's going to be a fun evening. So hopefully everything at scouting's going your way. I had a very interesting afternoon. My my district, my council, is hosting the national meeting, and I volunteered to do some work there, and I was able to work the meet and greet that they have, which was very well attended, and that's where everybody that's in the conference comes out and has cookies and enjoys some of the displays that they have there for the Alumni Association. And I was there representing NISA, National Eagle Scout Association. So it was fun. It was my honor to be there and to actually interact with a lot of fans of this show, which is awesome. A little selfie every now and then is a good thing. I'm going to adjust the camera here. I am doing a solo thing. Mike has been in the last two, and unfortunately he has commitments that he can't get out of and can't make it. So we're gonna do my best, get this out of my face. So I'm gonna do my best on the comments. Okay, so please, if you have a comment, please put a Q in front of that if you have a question, and I will try to make my focus go to that. Okay, so that makes it so much easier, and I see everybody jumping into the room. That's kind of nice, and having everybody here. We've had some changes on the channel. We've had some challenges that have come our way. It has been a fun time, mainly in the department of the podcast. Podcast is something that I've done for years. And the people that were distributing the podcast sold their company to another company that's doing the distributing. So now there's an issue with passwords and getting it. So I'm kind of locked out of it. And so we're working that out. Hopefully Monday, we will have all of that fixed. Google is wonderful. They actually go in and use the RSS feed and actually pull that stuff in automatically. I don't have anything to do with that. It just comes in and it's added right into our channel. But because I'm not able to upload anything because of this password issue, so we're going to work that out. We're going to definitely, Monday is my goal. I'm going to try to get that all ironed out. We've had some interesting episodes since we last talked, and we've had some really good ones. I'm just going to quickly look at my notes very quickly. There they are. Paul Bunyan. Now, I see that all over the place. I see it on youth. I see it on their back of their sash. They actually put them on there. So if you're a Paul Bunyan recipient, thumbs up. So give you a thumbs up there. Looks like we have some more people in here. All righty. We've got some people in the chat. There we go. And like I said, if you have a question, I'll jump right back to the question. But because I'm on my own, I may not see everything. So you got to put a Q in front of it. It's a question. That's something that I need from you. So we've had a lot of really good members join up, and the thing about membership, it kind of does a little bit of a roller coaster, mainly because there are gift memberships, and the gift memberships, if you have a gift membership, you either have to join or lose that membership until you get another gift. Okay, so it's kind of a hit and miss on that. It's so much better just to be a member. So, and there's a few of you that have had a few attempts, and I hope to earn your membership. That would be awesome. So I'm going to change something here real quick like that. There we go. That way you can see me instead of my microphone and all that stuff. So there we go. There. Little adjustments every now and then. Doesn't hurt. But yeah, Paul Bunyan, back to that. Paul Bunyan is one of those wonderful things that we do. Let me quickly look at this. Now, believe me, I'm pretty much blind. My son just, let's see, my son just turned star rank 2 weeks ago, 11 years, 6 months old. Wow. Wow. Has created, well, let me put it up here on the screen. There we go. Has created a plan on getting Eagle. That's wonderful. 12.5 years old. Okay. Wow. That's his plan. That's awesome. An Eagle Scout, and that was an episode that we did. I think it was the Eagle Scout that does the minimum or did the minimum. We talked about that, and so many people missed what I was trying to get across, is that an Eagle Scout is an Eagle Scout. Okay, no matter if they followed through that entire process and they've earned it, they're an Eagle Scout. That's just the way it is. So that's an interesting. If you just want a thought experiment, check that video out. That is a great video, and it's had people get upset and all that stuff, but it's basically something out there that scout leaders, they will badmouth some of the scouts that are Eagle, and they are Eagle, okay, but they'll say, oh, it wasn't a quality Eagle. I don't know what that is. An Eagle is an Eagle. So that's just something that comes through on that. And as far as getting Eagle when you're very young, that's awesome. Think of all the years they're going to give back to the troop. That's what I'm thinking. If they can achieve so quickly, that's wonderful. That's amazing. But giving back to the troop and being a mentor and being there to inspire other scouts, because they're going to be 14-year-olds in that troop that are going to go, whoa, if he can do it, I can sure do it. So it's an inspiration. Okay. So that's something, there are some scoutmasters say, well, they learn it so fast that they lose a lot of that information. But if you think about it, how much do if you're 50 years old, how much do you remember when you were 13? Okay. So you know what I mean? It is the memory tends to grandiose things that didn't actually occur. So we have to be honest about that part. But keeping this in mind, even if they're young Eagle Scouts, think of all the years that they could put in to the troop, to the benefit of the troop. And they will get involved in the OA, and they will get into Order of the Arrow. They'll get into those things, and they'll start doing some of the older boy stuff or older scout stuff. That's the neat thing from being a young Eagle Scout. So I'm sure there's more questions. Let me quickly make sure everything's running right. There we go. And I'm gonna move down here. Looks like we have quite a few people in the room. We got 16 so far. Not bad for a holiday. It is just wonderful. NYLT. Yoo-hoo! NYLT. National Youth Leadership Training. NYLT is Wood Badge for the youth. Think about that. You know, if you're a Wood Badger, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The National Youth Leadership Training is their version of Wood Badge. It is really good. It's taught by youth, and that's what's really amazing when you go into that that area of NYLT. Wow, it is just awesome. And I've staffed several times helping out. I think I was quartermaster and assistant scoutmaster, and I was part-time scoutmaster, I think, because the scoutmaster had to leave certain times, and I took over for a day, you know, that kind of thing. So it was kind of neat, and I really, really enjoyed it. But most of the training, most of the leadership in national youth leadership training, it's all done by the youth. They work on that for a year, just like the Wood Badge staff does. So it's basically Wood Badge for the youth. So definitely, if you're into NYLT, and that's what they use as the acronym. And the very first episode of the season was about acronyms. Okay. We do love our acronyms in scouting. BSA. So give you the idea. But yeah, that is something. That is really something. But if you have a question, please put a Q in front of it, and that way I will see it. Oh, we have a question. Oh, see, I ask and I receive. Here we go. What are your thoughts on allowing girls to join Scouts BSA? Actually, they're not joining a boy troop. Think about it that way. They're forming their own troop, the girl troop. So, you know, I'm all for that. I think that's great. My personal feelings on that is that the boys are going to have their thing and the girls can have their thing. There is nothing that the girls are going to do that the boys can't. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. So why not? They could have their senior patrol leader and their patrols and so on. I think that's wonderful. When girls first started at Scouts BSA, starting a girl troop was a big deal, and they're doing rather well. I'm happy about that, and it's good. One of the keynote speakers at the national conference this week, Monday. I think it's on Monday. Is actually the very first in the class of the first girl Eagle Scouts from Scouts BSA that actually earned every merit badge. Went through that process, was one of the 600 that have done that, that have gotten through the entire catalog of merit badges. That's amazing. That's like 138. That's a lot. That's a lot of merit badges. I only know of 3 people that are actually, I know of one that's working on it and 2 that have done it. And, you know, that's, and girls involved in scouting is fine. I'm okay with it. I don't think there's any problems with that. We've had girls in scouting for a very long time. Back in my day when I was a youth, they had explorers, and explorers were co-ed. It was girls and boys. It was my wife was an explorer. So, you know, that was, yeah, I was actually listed as a troop member and in explorers. So at the same time, that was, and back in my day, okay, when I was a youth. So girls have always been involved in scouting, and this just gives them the opportunity to have their own troop. So people who get all upset about it, nervous about having the girls in Boy Scouts, you know, and all that stuff, you know, I don't think they should be too upset about it because they are their own unit. The girls have their own type of unit and they run their own unit. The youth, the girls run their own girl troop. And there's no difference between the two, between a boy troop and a girl troop. The same structures are there. The same type of leadership, the same rules are there. So there's no difference. The handbook is different only in photographs and in how it's worded. That's it. The requirements are exactly the same for both. Always keep that in mind. Oh, we have a super Michael. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you. I think there's a question in there. There we go. It's of a different color and I can barely read it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the way they run these things. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put those up there. OA brother. Yay. All right. Yeah, there was an OA meeting in the other room when I was at the national conference today. It's like a pre-meeting, I think, but let's see. Hey, Stan, there's been an assistant cub master and less than 4 months. Okay, our cub master and the chair. I'm going to lean in a little bit because I'm blind. There we go. Got to make it bigger. There we go. Let's see. Parents are looking for okay pack, and I'm scared. Any advice? Okay, I'm scared and any advice. So the parents are looking at me to carry the pack. That's not the case. That's not the case. Cub masters are great. The assistant cub master is there to help the cub master. Now, if you're not ready, you're not ready. So you have to talk with your committee and make sure that that relationship has been solved. So that's an important thing. And make sure that you go there and check with the committee about what's going on with that. The one thing that I recommend is whenever you take a position in scouting, in a troop, in a unit, it is so important, whether it be a pack, a troop, a crew, a ship, it is so important to find your replacement. Yeah, your replacement. You want to have somebody that can jump in and do the job because you don't want to leave it empty. You don't want to leave them hanging. And that's the thing I would be scared of. And but don't fear. You know, it's not necessarily the assistant cub master's job to do recruiting, right? So yes, you should find somebody to take your place. But if that isn't happening, you need to talk to your committee, okay? And make sure the committee understands that you need help. So that's the important part, Steve. Make sure that they know. You when the cub master is away, you could fill in, but you're not going to take over. Okay. And cub mastering, I've done it. It is a blast. It is a lot of fun. I enjoyed cub mastering. That was so much better than assistant scoutmaster. Assistant scoutmaster was almost like retirement. Okay. It was, but I really, really enjoyed all the games and the fun and the organizing and all that stuff and doing the whole pack meeting. And that's really what the cub master does. They don't do den. They don't do any of the den stuff. They do the ceremonies for that. That's about it. So cub master is an important position, but it's not an overtaxing position and shouldn't be. It should be delegated out to all your den leaders, right? So that you got to keep in mind. So as far as a pack is concerned, it should be just fun. That's really what a pack is all about. Having fun and doing the scouting experience, getting that character built. That's what's critical. And don't get overwhelmed. Don't let overwhelm you. All righty. And we have a super. Woo. All right. Shout out. to my son Jack. There we go. And oh, okay. Yeah, Cody. There, COH tonight. Court of Honor was tonight. Yeah. Oh, wow. And earned their tenderfoot. Wow. Tenderfoot ranks, both of them. Wow. The funny thing I always do with tenderfoot, and you've seen this when they're going through the line, everybody's shaking their hand and stuff like this. I'm asking them, I ask them questions. I ask them, so you made tenderfoot. Which one? They just look at me and which foot is tender? That's what I want to know. So that's what they're doing when they're doing little handshakes. So, well, congratulations. That is wonderful. Michael D. Gosh, that is, and thank you so much for the super. That is just fantastic. Well, looks like we have some more stuff coming through. What's going on there? Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Hey, Stan. Let's see. You going to NOAC? No. I've done NOAC twice, and I'm okay for now. I think down the road, if I get back involved in some of the stuff with the lodge and really start working with the contingent stuff, that'll be great. That would be wonderful. Go into NOAC. That would be fun. I do love NOAC. NOAC is the National Order of the Arrow Conference. So those who not familiar with an acronym, and that, I don't want you to be afraid of acronyms. Okay. They occur all the time in scouting. Okay. So we have another question. What do you think about someone getting back into scouts after 25 years of being away? Oh, that life experience is everything. That is fantastic. I did that. Yeah, I did that. There was a good 10 years. Good 10, well, more than that. It might have been more than 10 years. There was a period of time where I did not get involved in scouting at all. I was out, okay, because I was traveling a lot and I just couldn't donate the time. I was traveling so much that I was only home for about 18 to 20 hours on the weekends, and that was it. I was out the door doing traveling. It was really tough for me, and I never knew which hotel I was going to be in and things like that. Sometimes, I mean, it was tough. But during that time, I was learning all that life experience, and I brought it on back. So that is one of those things that you just have to keep that in mind. You can't do everything, even though you want to. Yeah, I do. But sometimes you just can't. And after 25 years, that's wonderful. I am trying really hard to get my godson yeah, to actually get into scouting. We've even gone as far as I was watching after him. And I had to go to a roundtable, of course. And I went with him. And the neat thing about it is the roundtable is being hosted by a troop that I wanted him to look at. And so after 25 years, I might be getting back into the troop level. Who knows? I've been kind of, back and forth between district and doing stuff for the council and back. And, I love all the stuff I do in scouting. The best part of it is getting back involved. So I am so grateful that scouts get back involved, even after a period of time. It's totally fine. Totally fine. What we got there? Cub Master. Yeah. Cub Master and committee. Yep. The chairs. Yep. Yes, definitely. Let's see. Without replacement. Quitting without a replacement. Oh, no. Well, sometimes that happens. But you can definitely get the committee together, have somebody interim wise. Steve, just definitely make sure that you get somebody to kind of hold down the fort. You don't want the whole thing to have a problem. Okay. Committees are important. The committee chair position is important. The second in command in a committee is usually the scribe, or it would be advancement. Those are usually your second in command. And that might be what you fall back on. And then whoever they have as a backup kind of steps up. So that might be the way you could fill that position. So look into that. But from a Cub Master standpoint, that's scout facing, whereas a committee is backstage. So there are, that's that's not your department. It's a Cub Master. It's important, but got to keep them separate. So, that's just the key to a successful unit. So important. Oh, we got a big one here. Central Florida leads the country. Yes, it does. Radio scouting. Yes, it does. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. Awesome. 10,000 scholarships. Wow. That's awesome. That is really good. Thank you so much, Jason. That is just wonderful. Jason McDonald. Oh, he's got a follow up. Hang on. He didn't get it all in. Thank you, Central Florida. That's right. Amateur radio is amazing. Okay. And that is something to definitely get into. All righty. How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm getting over a cold. If I sound a little off, that's why. So the cold, it just won't go away. It's one of those things. All righty. ASPLs. Ooh, we got another question here. All righty. I am an ASPL. That's a assistant senior patrol leader. And let's see. The last camp out was the bad. Okay. And not all of them are good. There were like bullying and trashing everywhere. Okay. Yeah, that does happen. Underground. Yeah. Trash under. Yeah. Do you think the SPL, that's a senior patrol leader, and the other assistant senior patrol leaders should do? What should they do going forward? All right. The youth run the camp out, just like a youth meeting. And sometimes the scout leaders should be watching that and mentoring and helping the senior patrol leader and the assistant senior patrol leader, try to get them to understand their roles. What's very important is leave no trace. And there are two things I would recommend that the senior patrol leader, who's the boss, and the assistant senior patrol leader, who's the assistant to the boss, they should review at a meeting, leave no trace, talk about it, and literally talk about it. That is one of those things. We can't leave a mess when we're camping. That is just not acceptable. The second thing is that when you're at the camp out, maybe you should do a refresher course. And before you leave camp, once all the tents are in the vehicles and everything's been packed up and you're about ready to leave, you police it. You actually fall in a line and you go back and forth, getting every little bit of yuck that was left behind. Very important. So those are the two things that I would recommend. The bullying that's going on should not. That is not something that we do in scouting. We don't do bullying. Bullying is not allowed. That's no, just not. Scout is friendly and courteous and kind. That's law. Okay. Remind your scouts when they raise their hand and base everything on their honor and they're not following that. That's not scouting. That's not the scouting I know. You got to be friendly, courteous, and kind, and you can't be bullying each other. So remind them. That's all they need is a reminder. So definitely do that. And and prevent problems. Oh, we have a question. All right, question. Let's see. What is the Eagle Board of Review like? And okay, questions that I should know. Eagle Board of Review. I did a so I am talking from experience here. Um, what I do for my district, I am an Eagle Board of Review person that goes there. And understanding the structure might decrease a little bit of the worry. Okay, a lot of scouts come in very nervous. Okay, your troop is there. Your troop are on the board. Okay, some of the committee people, some people that are part of the backstage of the unit. That is something that will be there, and somebody from your district will also be there, but they are your advocate. Okay, they are on your side. Everybody's on your side, so we want you to do well, and just know that. Okay. The best piece of advice, and I even give that, and I remind scouts at the board of review, the best piece of advice is to think about all the training you have learned in scouting, all of the moral things that are in the scout oath, all of the wonderful 12 keywords that we use in the scout law. Those will help you tremendously in your board review. Definitely, because the questions are really to find out, about you. Find out what your future is, what you think of the past, what do you think of this, that kind of thing. And if you can relate that back to the scout oath or the scout law or both, wow, wow. Okay, so you'll do just fine. Don't worry about it. Don't. If you're in an Eagle board review, yeah, it's a big deal, but don't sweat it. You'll do just fine. You wouldn't be there otherwise, right? So you'll do just fine. So let's see. We have more questions. We got another one. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Going to your Eagle Board review. Yeah, this month. Woohoo. I tell you, Eagle Boards of Review are big. I did 6 last week. It was a lot of work. I don't tell anybody, but I like doing them because that you get to meet the best scouts and you get to meet the best parents and the best leaders. Okay. It's just it is something I enjoy. I really do. So don't worry about it. You'll be fine. All righty. We got a question. All righty. This is from Dukes. All righty. Let's see. Hi, Stan. My son is. Oh, wait a minute. It just disappeared. There it is. Really interested in being a senior patrol leader in SPL, but the adult leaders say he can't because he is too young. So the youth is too much of a youth to run a youth meeting. Let's see. Too young. Let's see. I believe you're talking about your Life Scout, right? That's like 12, maybe 13. So I think that was earlier. Let's see. Let's see. Older scouts really want him to be an SPL. Yeah, you need the experience. Is something wrong for the thing about senior patrol leader? They're the boss. They kind of set the agenda for the youth meeting. They run it. They're the ones in charge. And almost, I believe every unit runs an election. Okay. You want that democratic system, that democracy system there, to kind of select your senior patrol leader. The senior patrol leader has to be approved by the scoutmaster. So that might be where there's a catch. there might be bylaws that the unit has where they have to be a certain age or they have to be a certain rank. But if he's young, like 12, and a life scout, I think he's got the rank. So, and he needs leadership. Maybe working as an assistant senior patrol leader for 6 months. Okay, young, so they got time. Maybe that would kind of alleviate the worries that the adults might have of approving them to be on the ballot as senior patrol leader. So that might be the case. You got to work that out. Okay, that is not something that the upper end of the management scoutmaster stuff that needs to be worked out with the committee, scoutmaster, and the charter org. Okay, that's the key three of the unit. That upper management decision of qualifications towards that's something that needs to be looked into. So think about that. Work those things out. Scouts is a friendly place, and I've witnessed this happening in units where I thought, oh my, this young person has really bitten off more than they can chew, and this is gonna be bad. Most of the time, it's the old guy that gets taught a lesson. Okay, he gets it, he gets it handed to him because I'll tell you one thing: they do an outstanding job. They really step up. That's something that's amazing. But then again, I've seen them crash and burn. And scouting is a safe place to fail. So, it's a win-win if you ask me. So definitely talk to your scoutmaster about that, because they need to approve it. That's the other end of it. Do you know of any units with a SDG? Okay, I'm thinking SDG. What's it? Maybe I'm not seeing that right. SDG. Scouts SDG. You got me on SDG. I don't know what SDG. See, it's an acronym, right? And WOSM project. Now I know that acronym. WOSM is World Organization of the Scouting Movement. That's the purple patch that we all wear. It's this one up here, right? It's this thing. And that's the project. I'm thinking that is, I don't know what SDG stands for. See? All right, Jason, please tell me what SDG is. I don't know what that is. All right, 52 years. Woo! That's a long time. 52 years old, former Life Scout. That's awesome. Miss getting paperwork okay, that does happen. It happens. Yeah. Especially that long ago. That is one of those things. Leadership issue. Yeah, sometimes there is. Always I'm getting my first, I don't know what that word is. This year. Let's see. Went down. I tell you what, getting back involved is awesome. And no matter how long it took to get back, at least you're back. We need you. We need your experience. That's very important. Life Scouts, honestly, sometimes depends on where you are, but sometimes they're better than a bunch of Eagle Scouts. Okay, because Life Scouts, they know that disappointment. If that was their goal and they missed it, painful. So, and they do everything they can to prevent it from happening to a scout that wants to be an Eagle. So that's one of those critical things. Looks like we have some hellos. There we go. Let me get caught up. Oh my gosh. Now, if you have a specific question, please put it in put it in the question as a Q. Just put a Q in there and then the question so that I can see it. That way I know. Okay. So I had a banner going. Where is that banner? Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So that's the cue, is to say I have a question. Okay. Because sometimes we go back and forth on that. Okay. So let's go down here. I'm trying to get back to where we were. There we are. All righty. Hey, ScouterStan. Yep. Hey there. And let's see. Alrighty. Okay. That's SH. Am I seeing that right? SHAC, which is same. Oh, Sam Houston. Ham Houston Area Council. Awesome. See, if I use CFC, you would know what that is. Central Florida Council. See? So you got to tell me these things. I don't know what that is. That's awesome. Let's see. I'll tell you what, Houston is awesome. Sam Houston is amazing. That's a great one. Question. Yay, we have a question. All right. My new wife is Scoutmaster and I'm Assistant Scoutmaster. Fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. OA Troop rep is okay. Story in the same tent on campouts. Let's see. If you are husband and wife, yes, that's YPT. YPT is Youth Protection Training. It's within those guidelines, but you're married. Okay. That is the key. And if you have children, like in a Cub Scout situation, that becomes family camping. So there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But if you're like at scout camp on a summer camp, yes, you can share the same tent because you're husband and wife. That's the whole thing. You're married. All right. And as long as that is, you're fine. So I don't have I think BSA would agree, that there's no problems there. In any of that stuff, if it becomes a problem, it is a problem. So it needs to not be a problem. Okay. Think of it that way. But I don't, within YPT, youth protection training, I don't think it's a problem. All right, I'm gonna scan down a little bit and get to my questions because I think there's some more questions here. There we go. All righty. My son Jack, who is watching with me, a new patrol leader. Yeah, awesome. A new patrol leader, and would like some advice on being a good one. Awesome question. Very good question. When you're a patrol leader, one of the things that a lot of patrol leaders kind of skip, and I don't think they should, is Scout spirit and really getting the patrol thing going. Get a cheer, get a flag, get a logo, get a mascot, get these things going. Build that in your patrol. That will make a huge difference. I can remember when my son first got into a patrol, it was the Panthers. That was the patrol. And he was so glad he got in because they had that. It was built in and it went on and on. They had a great cheer. They had a big flag. They were very proud of themselves. Yay, Panthers. And they would dominate, the troop. The Panthers were doing all kinds of stuff. A lot of the senior patrol leaders, a lot of all that stuff was coming out of that patrol because of patrol method. And it's just, really getting that down. And that is so important. So whatever patrol you're in, that's my recommendation. Get that patrol method going. Get a cheer. There's nothing wrong with that. I've actually watched adults. Okay. I've seen adults just lose their minds. Okay. At wood badge. All right. So I've seen that. Okay. And to have them have all that cheers and all the mascot and all, that kind of so important. And it really builds a group that becomes cohesive, and you can get new people in, and even the older ones will enjoy it. So it is just so amazing. Patrol leaders have that opportunity to really build that and do it. That's what I recommend. So I'm going to go down to my next question. I am way behind on questions. All righty. Oh, that's not a question. I'm looking at it like, oh, wait, that's not a question. I got to go down. If you have a question, please put a Q in front of it. And if you're having a conversation, that's great. That's fine. I don't mind that. And what's interesting is that apparently I didn't know this, but before we meet, the questions, the comment section is live, so you can actually send questions in early, and that is something that can come up. Let me see what we got here. Okay. All right. Yep. Next week. Awesome. Let's see what we have. Hey, ScouterStan, it is realistic for me. A Star Scout 13. Yep. Reach of that eagle at 15. That's awesome. That is awesome. The perfect age, in my opinion, for an eagle is somewhere between 15 and 16, because then they've got years that they can donate back to the troop for all their effort to be that inspiration. So there's some really good things. Eagle Scouts are awesome as senior patrol leaders. They're even more awesome, in my opinion, as different things within first year emphasis patrol. They could be there as a instructor, or they could be there to help out with that unit. So that particular patrol. So as an Eagle Scout, and that the youth see that. They see that little round patch with an eagle on it, and that makes a goal. And they always say, if he can do it, I have a shot. I can do it too. That's that inspiration. We need to have that more. So be involved. That's awesome. That is just awesome. Young Eagle Scouts, fantastic. All righty. All right, got some small conversations. If you have a question for me, please put a Q in front of it, and it will go to the head of the list here. And SDG. Ooh, we got an explanation on SDG. SDG. Okay. Now it makes sense. Now it's put into context. I got it. All right. All right. Supplemental development goal. Got it. All right. SDG. Got it. It's a UN. Okay. Scout part of WOSM. Oh, okay. I did not know that. That's awesome. Yeah, heavily promoted with SDG. I'm not sure where that comes in. Let me look a little further here. Let's see. Wait a minute. There we are. There are 17 SDG scouts worldwide promoting, helping, and planning. Oh, I did not know that. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Now, WOSM, got to keep in mind, the World Organization of the Scouting Movement is based in Switzerland, and Scouts BSA is a part of that. But we're just like the other 120 plus countries that are a part of that. So that is the World Organization of Scouting, is the WOSM acronym. World Organization of the Scouting Movement. based in Switzerland. That's where they're based out of, and they've got a lot of very unique worldly things that they do, and that's just one of them. That is awesome. Oh, okay. I am going to move down a little bit. We have another question. We're going to put it right there. Let's see what comes up. Oh, there we are. Good evening, Mr. Stan. I'm currently 13 and first class rank. Awesome. Do you think I will be able to earn my eagle by the time I'm 16? Why, of course. Yeah, I think so. I don't see any reason there wouldn't be a problem. You're first class. The first class scout is the goal of all troops, is to get you to first class. Everything past that is up to you, young man. It's up to you. You got to choose to make that your goal. Now, the best way to set your goals is to look at your handbook, and it literally has it spelled out what merit badge is and what you need to do. All of it's spelled out, all those instructions. That's how you set some goals, okay? And change the world in the process, because you're going to be an Eagle Scout at 16. That's awesome, because then you're going to be with your troop for a while too. That's awesome. That is a great goal. Do it. You can do it. Certainly you can do it. It is a goal. Well, it's something that's earned. I'll give you a little bit of insight, and especially those scouts that are kind of nervous about their Eagle board and all that. At the end, once it's all said and done, I have a real heart to heart with the brand new Eagle Scout, and of course, their family's there, and there's adults in the room and everything. We sit and we talk a little bit, and I tell them, you're going to be called upon because you're now a marked man or a marked lady. That is something that happens. So once you're marked, they're going to be saying, is there an Eagle Scout here? We need a Cub Master. Yeah. Yeah. That is something you need to think about. It is a huge undertaking. Being an Eagle Scout, sometimes it can be serious. It can be more serious than just volunteering for something. It can be very serious. So you need to be able to do that. And maybe not now, but as you grow and mature, you'll see. You'll see. Sometimes it might be as simple as, gee, I've got a dull knife and I'm working in a warehouse. You're an Eagle Scout. You could sharpen my knife. That could be that. You could be called on it for a lot of things. So it's a benefit, and it's not really a curse, but you'll be called upon. It's a huge undertaking. So definitely keep that in mind. And we always have a good time and laugh and always have fun. But that's being an Eagle Scout, right? So, all right, we've got some more stuff here. Let me see what we got. Oh my gosh, people are writing in. Okay. I'm the lodge vice chief. Wow, that's a big job. That is. That is huge. In my lodge, but the section secretary at the conclave and did not win. Yeah, okay. Well, do you have any advice on what I could do to make sure I can win secretary next year? Keep working on it. Keep working on it. So many times with elections, especially in the OA, it's being that person that they can come to with the problem, and that person that can solve that problem. If you're that person and you keep doing that, and you keep, living through the obligation, putting up with irksome tasks, okay, and weighty responsibilities. If you're that person, I think others will see it too. And over time, that is how you get elected. It's seeing what you will do based on what you've done in the past. So keep that in mind. Keep working. Keep working it. Keep moving forward. Try to build relationships with the new people. You need more votes. So try to get in there and try to help them. Everyone has issues, problems, or concerns. So, and that's the place where you need to be to help with that and to help others and in the brotherhood of cheerful service. All those things have intense meaning, and you know that. So you can do it. You can do it. So just keep up that good work. I got another question here. Alrighty. Let's see. I am an ASM, that's assistant scoutmaster in a troop, 507. Great name, 507. How would I? Wait a minute. Oh, who? The vision. Who would I be? How would I be council staff in CFC? CFC is Central Florida Council to me. Let me know if that's not. But if you're an assistant scoutmaster, and a lot of assistant scoutmasters, it is totally possible to go to the district meeting. That is totally fine. Okay. And have a discussion with the commissioner, the district commissioner. And maybe you can help other units also learn all those great things that 507 is doing. Okay. That is totally fine. And you can take those life lessons over to troops that are struggling, that need your help as a unit commissioner. Totally fine. So think about that. That would be great. And that's throughout the nation. Okay. Everywhere. We are in desperate need of unit commissioners. Desperate. I mean, it's almost 20 to 1. I mean, it's really bad. We need to get more unit commissioners involved. People who may not know the answer right off, but they know the people they can call that would know the answer. That's the important part. And then building that relationship and putting that all together, that is so important. So if you want to get involved with either council or district or any of that stuff, definitely that'd be a place to start. That's where I would start. So hopefully that answered the question. And I've heard of 507. Okay. Good things. Okay. So I've heard they're a great troop. So, all right. Another question. Could you please tell me a short explanation on the role of a troop guide? Oh, troop guides are awesome. A junior assistant scoutmaster. I have seen videos on roles. Okay. Yes, there are videos, not necessarily on the channel that we are on, but they talk about those roles. In essence, a junior assistant scoutmaster works with the assistant scoutmasters, and they might have different projects assigned for the benefit of the unit. It can range. That could be as something as making sure all the tents are good for a camporee or a campout, that all the canoes are doing well. Okay, that there's no huge holes in them or missing life preservers or something. They could be involved. It could be equipment. It could be, please work with this scout who's struggling and having really big problems and needs that constant help towards really getting something from the scouting program. It could be something like that. Where on the other hand, you have the troop guide. The troop guide is almost exclusively put over with the brand new scouts. If a lot of units, and this is recommended nationally, when you get that crossover from the Cub Scouts, they go into their own patrol so that they don't feel threatened by the older scouts. Okay. I admit when I was 12, I didn't like 16-year-olds coming in and telling me what to do. I was scared of them. They're bigger than me. It was kind of scary. So putting them in their own patrol, and the guide is there to help the patrol leader, which is one of the young scouts, to really start building that patrol method that I talked about earlier. So that's really the two different positions. And a lot of times the assistant scoutmasters work heavily with that. There's usually an assistant scoutmaster assigned to that first year emphasis patrol and the guide. So those are great positions. Junior assistant scoutmasters are assistant scoutmasters that are under 18. That's the way to think of it. They might have different projects they're involved in. I got more. Ooh, we're going through here. All righty. All right. Oh, we got another question. All righty. All right. After I get Eagle rank, and what could I do next in scouting? Oh, there's a lot. I got a bunch on that. Do you know what NYLT is National Youth Leadership Training, is like? Yes, I do. And I am wanting to start a Boy Scout channel. Awesome. I'll come on your channel. I'll promote it. That's good. What could I do for content? Tell you what. Oh, there's a bunch of questions. All right, let me start at the beginning. Eagle Scouts can do a lot. A lot. Eagle is not an exit. Okay. Especially if you're 16. You need to give back to the troop, because the troop gave a lot to you to get you to that. Okay. To get you to Eagle. So you need to give back. And if you're under 18, you could be a junior assistant scoutmaster or a troop guide. Those are two fantastic positions for Eagles, okay, in a troop. So that's the first thing. The next big question you have here is National Youth Leadership Training. You can do that too. That is totally fine. That particular course is Wood Badge for the youth. So keep that in mind. If you get involved in that National Youth Leadership Training, it's a year commitment of training, going to the classes and actually knowing what your job and your role is in teaching at NYLT. Get onto the staff. If you've already taken it, you know how intense it can be. But those are things that you can do. And Eagle Scouts are a natural. So that's something. And as far as starting something on YouTube channel, I love doing this. This is great. Okay. I really do love being here and talking with scouters and youth. That's totally fine. This is a channel that's kind of a outreach from my unit commissioning, because we're so desperate for unit commissioners. That's something down the road you might think about. But this is kind of the outreach for unit commissioners. I'm talking to people in packs and troops and crews and ships, and I've even gone as far as even talking to people in explorers. Okay, they're in the legal explorers or paramedics or something like that. So there's a lot of different scouting stuff out there. The Learning for Life is a whole other division. So that's it. It is amazing, all the things that are out there. So focus is probably the one thing that I would recommend on your channel. If your focus is on youth, then stick there, okay, as long as you can, because I don't think there's a whole lot of youth channels out there talking about camping or patrol method or anything to do from the youth point of view. That's a niche. So think about that. That's something that you could definitely do. YouTube is one of those places. Now, that I've been doing this for about 10 years. It's been a long time. And it has been, it's hard sometimes to really get behind the camera and just put together something that you've worked on, for scripts and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's tough, but most of the time it's a blast. It really is fun. It is fun. In fact, if you go back to my old stuff, which I can't even look at because it's just terrible. It's terrible. I look at some of that and I think, whoa, they weren't scripted. That was all just rip and read kind of out of my mind. So that was that was a little bit different. So yeah, you got to know your market and you got to know your focus. Focus is everything. Got to know that area. Now with my focus with adult leaders in scouting general, that is a big, and I've never run out of subjects yet. We have 10 seasons of 24 shows each. So every week. And it is, I think I've missed 1 week in that entire time. So, and with National being in town, I might miss it again. So eating up all my time. So, but yeah, that's another thing. All right, another question. Would you tell us about the certificate on the wall? On the wall. Oh, all those things. That's amazing. There's those are just stuff that I've accumulated over time. I can't really see them very well. But one that I'm very proud of, you barely could see it, is see if I can touch it right there. That little wooden post, that wooden one. That was last year. I got Commissioner of the Year. That was wow. That's a neat one. That's a neat little thing. And of course, over my eye is my that's a certificate of my silver beaver. So when I got that during COVID. Most silver beavers are at a big dinner meeting thing. It was during COVID lockdown, right in the middle of it when they announced that thing. And I ended up taking photographs on a dock at a park nearby, with them handing me the certificate and my wife putting the medal on me. That was what they used later to tell people that I had received it during the COVID. So that was the thing. And in fact, they're having a silver beaver dinner coming up where they're going to do the big meal and 1,000 people and all the, the band and all that stuff. And have to go across the stage and get the spotlight put on you and all that, that kind of thing. I didn't have to do that. That was great. They did it. They did it during COVID, which is great. So that was fun. But yeah, that's some of the stuff that's up there. Right behind me, the black frame there is that's Vigil. So Vigil is an honor that's bestowed on scouts and scouters that do a lot of service for their lodge. So there's a lot more up there. You can probably tell there's an eagle one up there. There's some training ones. Let's see. I think have I run out of the ones that say Q on them? There's one that says Q. All right. Happy HB. All right. We've got, okay, ScouterStan. I run an OA. Wait a minute. I ran OA last year. I ran for OA last year. Oh my gosh, my vision. Ooh, my goodness. Mike is not going to make it tonight. So I've got to read these off the screen, and it's a blue with a white background. The way that's casting that light, I can barely see it. All right. Let's see. And I didn't get in. Okay. So you were running for the Order of the Arrow for your troop. You were trying to get elected. Okay. Good. Well, you really don't run a campaign. Okay. There's no campaigning. There's no speeches. Okay. So that's part of the process. I know it's not supposed to be about popularity. It's true, but I could give me some tips. Yes. Let's see. I'm possibly responsible. You know what? That's how you do it. You're a good scout. One of the big questions we ask, and this is one of those things that a lot of people don't know about the Order of the Arrow. Everyone in the troop, all the youth vote, whether they're in the Order of the Arrow or not. That's a huge thing. And one of the questions we ask, who can you rely on? Who do you want to go camping with? That's camping spirit. Being able to say, I don't mind going with Jim because Jim is a good guy. He's a good scout. And he's always helped me. One time I was struggling getting my sleeping bag back in my microscopic bag, and he helped me. He showed me how to fold it and get it in there. That was very helpful. So little things like that can go a long way to get you noticed, to get elected. Now, I'll tell you, one of the things, I come from a very small troop. Our troop varied from between 5 to 9 scouts, somewhere in that. It was always single digit, and it was a very small group. And the minute that I got there, I was already star when I joined that troop from other troops as I traveled. It's a long story, but anyways, I got into that troop, my last troop, and I was star scout. So they instantly made me the senior patrol leader, and every year they would vote for that on a consistent base. So for the time that I was in that unit, it would vary from 5 to 9 scouts going back and forth. I must have lost the OA election at least 6 times. It was really bad. And I didn't get in until the last possible vote. I was turning 18. I was going to age away from the ability to be elected as a youth. And I luckily, finally, things turned around and it happened. But because I was in that leadership position, and I'm young at that point, and I was a little bossy. So that's probably what caused me not to get elected. So because I was bossy, and I just kind of accepted my fate, and I just said, well, I'm going to live by the scout oath and scout oath, scout oath and scout law, and I did that, and it really helped turn things around. I became friendly and courteous and kind, and they could trust me, and they became loyal because they could trust me. So that's the thing. That was big. So that's what I'd recommend. I hope I answered that question. My goodness. We are flying through stuff tonight. All righty. Let's see. Okay, I've got another question here. There we are. I was, let me move this up because things are piling in front of it. Okay. I was at a patch/badge swap. Swab? Yep, yesterday. Yay. Those are fun. Do you know how to get in contact with American collectors groups? Ooh. I'd go online. That's what I'd do. Living in Denmark, it can be hard to find others like-minded on the side of the pond. I tell you what, that's huge. I would definitely use the internet. Okay. Use the internet, go in and see if there's any organizations that can kind of set up, patch for patch or badge for badge. That's a good question. Trading patches internationally is awesome. I know that Mark in England with Big Man in the Woods, and he's a wonderful channel on YouTube, and we've been throwing patches back and forth. He likes the neckerchiefs. I'm not big on the neckerchiefs, so I wear one type of neckerchief, and that's it. So that is something that happens. So, but international patch trading, that is something. So definitely look into that. Go on the internet. That's what I'd recommend. It's hard. Hi. There we go. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. NYLT. Woo. NYLT is 6-day. Yes, it is. Leadership course for youth. Yep. The wood badge is a 6-day course. They split it up into 2 weekends, but it's full 3 days each. So, it is also a 6-day course. So, and I know because I was on staff for NYLT and I've been on staff for wood badge. The syllabuses are almost identical. Okay, they're very similar in many respects. They handle some of the subjects a little differently, but it is wood badge for the youth. So it's very high-end training. So definitely, if you haven't been as a youth, please go. That is, make plans to attend. Very important. All righty. What is this one here? There we go. Thank you so much, sir. You're very, very welcome. Very welcome. All righty, Ken. All righty. I'm flying through some of these. Contact. Okay. Yes, this is part of those conversations that don't have the little Q on them. All righty. I don't see any Q's. Ah, there's one. Aha. Wait a minute. I put the cursor over it and it went. I saw it. There it is. Oh my gosh. Vision's gone. You can see how thick these things are. All right. Q. ScouterStan. If you get your Eagle before 18, which you should, can you still get merit badges? Yeah. If you get it before you're 18, once you're 18, you're no longer a youth. Therefore, you're not eligible for merit badges after 18. So you gotta have your merit badges done before you turn 18. Okay. Set your goals on your merit badges. That's an important thing. Get those done and get that project done. I was talking to a young man today. I said, with his mom standing there, and she's going like this, she was wanting me to really get bug in his ear, that kind of thing. And I said, look, 2 things you need to do right now. Yes, get life, but go online and download the workbook. That's a guide. All those little blue boxes need to be filled in. So you might as well start doing it, And then the next big thing is not saying, oh, I got to do a project like this. No, you got to find somebody who wants that project. That's the key. So setting those goals early on is important. Merit badges all have to be done by 18. That's just the way things are. The merit badges are for the youth. They're not for anybody over 18. So you got to get that done. But that was important. He needed to hear, those things. Getting your Eagle before 18 is so important. After you're 18, the train has left the station. Okay. Think of it that way. All right. There are some exceptions where we can, if you've done all the requirements, we can kind of hold on to things and get you through it, but don't rely on it because that will sure enough make you a life for life. Okay. Get it done. That's the important part. Was there any more parts on that? Let's see. Yep. Got to do it. If you're going to get 18, that's the key. You got to do it. If you have a question, please put a Q in front of it. There you go. Wait a minute. It went away again. There it is. I click on it. It goes, ooh. Oh my gosh. All right. So let me see if I can get to it. There we go. All right. I am 16. Yep. That was this. Yep. 16 years old and have 36 merit badges. That's a lot. That's a lot of merit badges. Try to get them all. Yes, you can. Merit badges. Yep. Recommend. Be fun for the summer. I was mentoring a scout that when he went to his Eagle Border Review, he had 42. And at the Eagle Border Review, I think he was just turning, he was 16, but he was maybe 3 months away from his 17th birthday. And he decided that he wanted to get them all. And that was another 100 he needed to get, or 90 that he needed to get. And so it was a huge commitment. It got down to where he was timing it out to the hour that he turns 18. I mean, it was really close, really close. And Andrew, nice young man, nicest young man you ever want to meet, that I had recruited from lighting. I think we were using spark sticks, and we lit up a cotton ball, and you just saw that spark in his eye, and he said, oh, I could do this, and he went and got all the merit badges. He timed it out to the point where he went to summer camp for 4 weeks. He would do 8 merit badges at each summer camp. I mean, he was really piling it on at the end, and it was a lot. And being that we're in Florida, the winter sports were tough to get. So he had to really make some arrangements and really do some traveling and stuff like that to get them all done. So that was the important part. But at 16, shoot, you've already at 36, I think you've already got a silver palm. So at 36, I think so. It's 5. So it's 21 is the eagle, and then there's 5 more get you to bronze, 5 more than that get you to gold, and then another 5 will get you to silver. And you can only earn up to 7 silvers because that's how many merit badges there are. There is a knot, and I believe if you look back at the catalog of on our channel, there's some videos on that. So you can do that. It's going to be a lot of it's going to be tough. It's not easy. And I'll tell you, this is the thing that really got me. You hear about scouts that have done all the merit badges. Did you know there's less than 600 of them ever? So that is a huge accomplishment in addition to being an Eagle Scout. Okay. That's huge. Some years there was more. There was 141, I believe, at one time. And then they got rid of some merit badges and moved those requirements into others. So they've kind of streamlined it. I don't think anything like that's going to happen in the near future, but if it's 138 right now. So that's a lot. That's a lot. You got another 100 to go, but you can do it. You could do it. You could be one of less than 600 that have ever done it. That's amazing. That's a huge accomplishment. Eagle is a big accomplishment, but doing that too, woo, that's amazing. All right. So got another question. All right. Can my wife get me my arrow of light knot, heroism knot, if I wasn't part of the troop or council? All right, let me break this down. All right, you're going to have somebody else pick these up probably from the scout shop. Okay, arrow of light. Yeah, that's a knot. That's definitely something. And the heroism knot. Those two you may have to order. Those are awards. So sometimes depending on your council, depending on your scout shop, depending on the requirements that they have, they may need to have the certificates or some kind of proof of earning those things, because that's not something you collect. Okay. That is something you earn. If you're going to put it on a uniform and walk around with it, that's pretty serious. So definitely, you want to make sure that those are good. Most people can buy those things. They do have them on eBay. They have them on scout shops. Different organizations might have them. So you can buy them through them. And if you've earned them and have the certificate, and that's and it's real and it's honest, yeah, I don't have any problem with that. That's fine. That's totally fine. And you can have other people buy them. That's totally fine. I am way behind on my stuff, so I'm just going to do the questions. All right. So if you need questions. All righty. Mr. Scout Mister, got that one. ScouterStan. This one doesn't have a question on it, but it looks like one. I see ScouterStan. What does your Eagle Scout past Oh, wait a minute. Why don't Eagle Scouts pass their board of review? And what are the 10 reasons they failed in the board of review? Eagle 2 Scouts. Now, Eagle boards of review are literally boards of a review. Okay. So passing is not part of that. Okay. They didn't answer the questions well or something like that. Okay. Um, the thing is if I've never had a problem, and I've done over 100 Eagle boards of review, and it literally is a review. Before the scout even enters the room, I, being the advocate for the scout, I want to know what are the issues, what are the problems that are going to come up. 99% of the time, they say no problems. Everybody on the board is on the side of the scout, so and that's good. Because then when we go through the board of review, we make sure that when we're reviewing all the materials, all of the ranks, all of the things, all of the references, all of the review part of the board with the scout in the interview, there's usually never a problem. I've never run into a situation where we said no. It does happen. It is in the guide to advancement. It can happen. This is something that we don't want it to happen, but keep this in mind. It's a review. Okay. Most of the time, if it's questionable, we might postpone and have we'll reconvene. Okay. That's possible. In the 100 plus that I've done, I've never had an issue. There's never been an issue. Any issues get ironed out before we meet, or they're ironed out there. And when we've decided that that's going to be the case, that's going to happen. So as far as the actual process, it's a board of review. And making sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. That's really what it is. Making sure the project is done. Okay, nothing worse than have a project it's wobbly. Okay, that's not good. So that's something. Let me go back up here because my screen refreshed and it did something funny. But as far as an Eagle board, I've never had a problem with one. I have talked to other advancement people, and they've actually had problems, not necessarily with the scout, but something that happened within the unit, and we've had to postpone. Okay, that was what they told me, but I've never had that issue, and I hope never to have that issue. There are problems that occur. I've heard the absolute horror stories, but they're very, very rare. I've not encountered them in the 100 plus that I've done, so I've never had a problem. It's like I said earlier, it's the best scout that troop can produce. It is from the best leaders. Okay, the best scoutmasters, the best assistant scoutmasters, the best committee, the best advancement, the best possible leaders in that room, and parents. It's best job ever to be there when that happens. It's a great job. It really is. I enjoy advancement. That is, of course, I like recruiting too. So I did recruiting for a lot of years. So yep. Yeah, it was So those were good things, but I've never had a problem. Never had a problem. I wouldn't worry. Don't get excited. Okay. I'll take that back. I've had problems with the scout getting so upset they couldn't drink any water. So they dehydrated in front of me. They've actually passed out. Or thrown up. So if you're going into a board review, breathe. Okay. You make sure you eat not a whole lot of food, but enough. Okay. To keep your energy up. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Okay. So the youth need this to just kind of chill a little bit. I've had them get sick. Okay. I've had them get upset. I've had them. It is a list of things that can happen on their standpoint because they're just so balled up, and so frozen. I get that stage fright. Okay. They've had communications merit badge. That's required. They can talk. Okay. That's that's part of the that's part of the eagle. So keep that in mind. Got another question. All right. We're gonna move on to another question here. Question, ScouterStan. Why did the Eagle Scout pass their border review? Oh, it's very similar. Oh, wait a minute. That's the same question, isn't it? No. There it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm gonna move down a little bit. Oh, thank you so much. We have some people that are in the chat that are answering some of the questions. So and that's great. Thank you so much. Now, I'm not getting to everything. Okay. So sometimes there's there's stuff going on in the chat, which is great. Thank you. Oops, I saw one. Cute. There it is. That's the one I was looking at. There we go. I want to walk. Wait a minute. I want to work on summer camp. Yes. Person that I talked to about the camp, I have been emailing. He and his hasn't responded back. And what should I do? I'll tell you what. There's several things. Are you calling the actual camp, or are you calling the people in charge of the camp at council? Find out. Find out. Sometimes council is doing one thing while the camp's doing another. So you need to get that put together. Make sure that you're talking to and communicating with the right people. And, it's scouting. Sometimes people mean well and they think that they're doing the best, but they're not. Okay. So double check and find out if you can talk to somebody else, maybe, because their schedule is full. They can't really communicate with you. Those are things you need to get that interview. You need to get to the interview and do the things and make sure that that you are a benefit. That's true. Always keep that in mind. And when I was hiring people for different jobs and stuff, and then when I was doing that in the professional world, it was so critical that they became an asset. That if I didn't hire them, it would be bad for the company. So that was instant. I didn't really have to decide. I didn't have to make any decisions or anything. You want to be that person. You want to make yourself that beautiful orange. Okay. That looks so delicious. Okay. You got to be that orange. Okay. And that's the thing. When you're going for those positions, you need to be able to say, yes, I will be on time. I will do the job. I know the job. I can do it really well. I can help other scouts do that. I can, these are things that you need to be there for. If it's a job that needs certification, like if you're going to be a lifeguard, these are things that you have to have before you even really go after that position, and make sure that's a position you want. Here's the other key. If you're going after a position, make sure that you interview them. Yeah. Yeah. Are you worth working for? Yeah, I'm a great orange. I'm the best orange there is. Make sure that they're worthy to have that orange, right? So work with them, talk to them, say, hey, tell me a little bit about the structure, the structure of all of this camp staff, how that works. What do they do for camaraderie? What are their likes and dislikes? And so you can ask as many questions that they have, right, in an interview. And I know you're young. I know this might be your first job, But that's the thing about when you're being interviewed. Don't ever, when they say, "Do you have any questions?" You don't go, no, no. That's when you come back with all the research that you've done. I know that the camp is 100 years old. What do we do about celebrating it? You know, that's the question you throw at them. That'll make you more valuable. That makes that orange even better looking. Okay. So be the best orange. That's the best thing to do. And that's true for every job you'll ever get. So, and it goes all the way. Even summer camps. Summer camps are awesome. Awesome stuff. Awesome sauce. Got another question. All righty. What's the question? What were the story? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I'm jumping in the middle here. What were the story? What stories were that? Was it about let me back up a little bit. What happened? Okay, what happened to the person's sons who committed scouting just stop showing up? Ugh, that's not good. All right. So I'm skipping some of these because there are other conversations. All right. So let me go back a little bit and see what stories. You know what? I think that's M. If you could ask what that story is and put it in some context, I'll surely talk about it. So you know me, I'm a blah blah blah. I can go on. All right. ScouterStan, what happened? What happens? Yeah. If a parent, wait a minute, let me move this up so I don't want to lose the screen here. There we go. That makes it a little easier to see. All right. What happens if a parent and son commit to scouts, and they're just stopped showing up? You know, it happens. You know what the parent should do? And well, maybe not the parent. Maybe let's say the committee chair, okay, or even advancement could be involved. Somebody from the back stage should make a phone call to find out what's going on. You know, it could also be scout facing. It could be the scoutmaster. In this case, I think it's a troop, right? Okay. So if it's a troop, it would be a scoutmaster. If it was a pack, it would be, of course, your cub master. So that's the thing. Call the parent. You know, it's parent to parent or adult to adult talking to one another, finding out what's going on. The youth might have discovered all of a sudden that they love sports or they love to play the violin. and scouting has taken a back seat temporarily because those things with the school only happen with school. Okay. School's not in all the time. They're not doing that most of the time. So they'll be back. They'll be back to the troop or the pack. So definitely call them, ask them, find out. They may have decided to upgrade and go to a different unit. Okay. Questions, don't be confrontive, but ask the parent why. Were you looking for those things? Were you looking for a troop that does more camping, that's more youth led? Those are big reasons to go. So, those are hard questions. And from the unit standpoint, and sometimes the unit doesn't like those answers. But they have to ask them and then deal with those answers and correct from those answers. Because if one has already gone off to another troop, there's a few more that are thinking about it. So definitely got to curb that. Okay. And redirect that and learn from that. Okay. So those are two big reasons that could come up. There might be more. It could be a bullying situation. And gosh, I hope that's not it. But that could actually be a reason. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can move it like that. Oh, all right. M. He's followed up with the request. Okay, Scoutmaster. What happens if someone on the Eagle Scout Board of Review, if 1 out of 6 people say no and the rest say yes? All right. For instance, a board of review can only have between 3 and 6 members. That's it. And that includes the district person, okay? Whoever the district or council person is. So 5, anywhere from 2 to 5 from the unit. Typically, the reason I don't have an issue is that I ask questions before. Is there a problem with the scout? Has somebody in the room camped with the scout? Have they, a lot of these are committee people, so they may not have that opportunity. Sometimes, and there's been some cases where the scout has a disability, and they have a learning program that's all specified in the program, and they might have to have an assistant scoutmaster in there just to be there for support. And a lot of times the committee will help them through that process of going through the Eagle questions and stuff like that. And it's really, we want to work with them. We're not testing them. This is not a test of fire. It's a board of review. Okay. We're reviewing to make sure that everything has been covered. We're reviewing to make sure that everything we taught the scout has stuck. Okay. That's the key. That's the key. So it's very rare that I turn around to the board once the scout leaves. It's very rare. In fact, I really can't think of a time it's ever happened where it wasn't 100%. I can remember many, many, many times when the scout left the room, as soon as that door shut. And when I look at the other scout leaders and we're stunned how great this scout is, we're just like, whoa, what a great reply. Wow, I'm writing that down. That was amazing. A lot of times it's like that. So it's not the confrontational thing that you might envision it to be. It's not. It's a board of review, and that's the key. That's the key. So youth, don't get too crazy about it. All right. It's going to be tough. It is. We're going to dig deep. We're going after scout values. All right. We're going to see where those have stuck. Okay. Very important. Thank you, Em. Good question. All righty. Let's see. We're going to go down a little bit deeper. All righty. Ooh, we are running along tonight. We're probably going to make it a 2 because I've got so many people in the room. Goodness. And I'm behind a little bit on this. Okay. All right. If I were to use my Eagle project to make progress towards a Distinguished Conservation Service Award, yeah, who would I need to count, order, organizing things? Also, thanks for organizing this. Okay. Well, the Eagle Project can be the beginning of a lot of other projects. The Eagle Project, and I believe it's in the instructions, it is really to put into practice the methods in scouting towards actually being able to contribute something of value to the community. Okay. Now the community can be different things. It could be a church, it can be an organization, it could be a park, it could be a lot of things. So it has to qualify in that regard. But as far as the project, it's really there to kind of build on what the scouting values and purposes and all the different things we taught in scouting, kind of bringing it home in a leadership situation. That's what the project really is. And there's so many different projects. Oh my gosh, there's so many different ones. My district is sizable. We have somewhere right around 42 projects in progress. 3 of those I think are not going to happen. So I'm not counting those. But those projects they could be incredibly complex. And there's some that they're complex, but they're not as intense as other ones. So there's no set amount of hours. Okay. There's below average, and then there's way above average. So, that's the hours are not a part of the evaluation. That's important. So, but we want you to do a project, or serious project that benefits the community. That's the key. If you got that, that's the core. Now you're going to mix this with what is it? The Distinguished Conservation Service Award. That's huge. That's a big project. So that project is really just on conservation. Okay. And you're working with people outside of the scope of Eagle. Okay. That's not necessarily an Eagle project. You could start with your Eagle project with that organization, kind of like you're going to build or rebuild I don't know, a trailhead or a bridge or something like that for your Eagle. Okay. And then go back and say, okay, we're going to create an entirely new trail so that we can go around an endangered area of trees. We want to decrease the traffic through that area of the mountain and kind of go around the other way using your bridge. So you can combine those things together. Okay. That's possible. That's just for instance, there's a lot of different things you can do, and just keep that in mind. Like I said, the hardest part of an Eagle project is finding somebody who wants one. That is the absolute hardest part. That is so important. So many scouts get so brokenhearted because they can't build those benches that they were planning on building since they were tenderfoot. It's so more important to find somebody who wants benches. Okay. They might even pay for them. So, they just need the labor, and service is all about it. So something to think about, something to really think about. We are going to have to wrap it up. Oh my gosh, we've gone an hour 40 and there's still some more people coming in the room. That's awesome. I think it's West Coast coming alive here. Let's see. Awesome. You're so welcome. You're so very welcome. I love doing this. This is fun. All right. We're going to have another question here. Got another one. How many awards does ScouterStan have? A bunch. What you see up there, I've got over here. I got a few up there. They go somewhere, that's the thing. You go to these banquets and stuff, you got to be able to put it out there. The biggest award, more than anything on that wall, okay, is the one up here. All those smiling faces of those scouts. I've mentored quite a few to Eagle. That was back when I was doing recruiting. And I have, those are the things I remember. And those are the things I like to keep. There's up on the shelf, there's a shelf just off to the side there, up on there. Those are the things I look at. If I start getting upset or depressed about, things are going on and stuff like that, I look at some of those photographs of the kids getting their awards at the meetings, and just remembering the look on their face as I shook their hand. That is the best thing in the world. Best thing in the world. We're here to help others. And that's what I love to do. I love helping others. Now, this stuff just happens. Okay. You might even see, I think I've got my dog. Yeah, that's my dog. His name was Scout. We got him on a hiking trip. So he was out in the middle of the woods. So, so there's stuff, differently things like that. Those are some knots hanging up there. And I got my father's kudu horn hanging up there. So the green lamp has been on my desk for years. Okay. It's just on this little shelf here. So I've had that for years, and it's always lighted the way. That's the nice thing about that. I have hired a lot of people with that lamp on the desk. So yeah, that's true. And there's some right above the lamp there is a prayer. So the prayer of serenity. So it's a good one. So, let's see. I think I'm at the end of all the no. I got more questions. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. ScouterStan here. Wait a minute. Did I click that one? Where'd he go? There it is. Okay. ScouterStan, honor story about the Eagle Scout border review that you were saying you have. Okay, Scouter horror stories. I've heard from other advancement people problems, um, but it's not like they were refused. Okay. Probably the worst that I ever heard, and I don't even know if it was in my district or my council, but the worst story I've ever heard was a border review that was delayed an hour because the candidate that was going to be part of that review had to be bailed out of jail because they were arrested for arson the night before. So, and they were struggling with his ankle bracelet for prisoner release for the border review. So, I think that one was kind of we'll get back with you. So that would be really bad. So, but there's some horror stories. I've had scouts pass out. I started one, and the scout didn't eat because they were so nervous, and he had that low sugar moment, and it just closed out, and he was out. So we saw his eyes roll back, and we're all like, oh! And luckily he didn't hurt himself when he hit the ground, but it woke him back up. So we got him some water, and I gave him I think there was a mince or something at the church that they had, and we were able to give that to the scout, and they were better. But we said, hey, you need to, eat food. He was real skinny, so he was just nerves. It was just nerves, and it doesn't have to be like that. Okay, so don't let your scouts go nuts worrying about their border review. It is serious, it is important, and it will be heartfelt. Okay, there are questions that are going to be tough, and if they go in with the attitude of thinking about the scout law, they'll have no problems. Okay, we want to make sure that all that scouting spaghetti is stuck to their wall. Okay, the analogy of throwing it in. We want to make sure that that's there. We want to make sure that those thoughts, those ideals of scouting, those values of scouting are there, so that later in life they can give back to scouting, because they're going to be called upon. They are going to, at some time, may not be for scouting, might be for something else, but they are going to be called upon. And once an Eagle Scout, always an Eagle Scout, always. So that's the reason we do that, to make sure that they're good. I think I've got two more questions here, short ones. Let's see what we got. Will Stan fly out K? I don't know. Out K. I don't know what out K is. So there's another one from the same person. Will Stan come to my roundtable? My goodness. I love going to roundtable. Roundtable is one of my favorites. Roundtable. That makes sense. Fly to what he was saying is okay. That's Oklahoma, right? Am I seeing that right? Fly out K, that would be Oklahoma. Sometimes you have those voice to text things. I have said some stuff. It's not good. So that is it. So check before you said. Oh my gosh. But roundtable is one of those things. Everyone should go to roundtable. So, and I if it's nearby, I live in Central Florida, so it's a half-hour drive to everything. Okay, it's how it goes. Oh my gosh, it is one of those things. There we go. Got another one. Thank you so much, Josh. Appreciate it. All righty. Let me move down so I can see these. Oh my gosh. Will Stan come to my round table? RT. There we go. And how much would it cost? Is it cheaper? If you want the cash. Crash at your place, sure. Not a problem. But the thing is, it is a lot. Okay. To give you an idea, this afternoon I was at a meet and greet for National, because here in Orlando they're having the national convention. The NAM, yeah, national. I don't know. They called it NAM. Anyways, they're having their big national thing. So there was a meet and greet, and I was asked to go and help with the booth for um, National Eagle Scout Association, NISA. So I was there for them. I was there helping them at the booth, setting it up and helping put all the banners out and stuff. Because I know a lot of the guys that are in NISA locally, and so being at those activities now. I was scheduled Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, like 12-hour days. But the scheduling, they had too many people on Monday, and they were asking for people to take a day off. And I need Monday because right now, I don't have anything finalized or filmed for this week. So right now, so what you got to see is going to happen with the Monday. So tomorrow afternoon is probably when I'm going to have a chance to record. But I want to make sure that's handled. So I needed that day. So I took a day off, and then I'm doing these things continuously. As soon as I'm done with that, I have 2 more Eagle boards to review this week. And then I believe there's my local committee, district committee meeting is coming up. I have a schedule. I have a schedule of all kinds of stuff going on. So if I could fit it in and I'm there, I'll do it. No problem. So I'd love to do that. Maybe one of these like live. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we could do a Zoom call or something. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. That way I don't have to travel. I could do it right here. So, that would be good. So maybe that would be best. That would be good. Let's see. You don't have to put up with me. You don't have to put me up for the week or something. Let's see. I don't know. I don't like the new. I don't know what that is. Oh my gosh. I can't even see it. Hang on. Let me make that bigger. Epaulets? Epaulets? Am I looking at that right? Let me make that bigger. I'm gonna make it big, big, big. Nope, that's the wrong direction. There we go. Make it big so Mr. Magoo can see it. Alrighty. Let's go down. Ooh, we went way down. Up, 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 up. See, when you make it bigger, it makes everything crazy. So it moves all the stuff around on the screen. Let me see where it is. Where am I? All righty. Can I still use the red epaulets? Okay, I was seeing that right. Okay. Red epaulets, the green ones that they have for troop, I believe. Scouts BSA has green ones. The national guys got gold ones or yellow. Then if you're with council or district, they have the silver. And then if you're with a Cub Scout pack, they're blue. So that's kind of neat. And I believe the crew decides. They used to be red. I don't. They used to be red. In the day when my son was in scouting, they were red, and that's fine. Personally, it's an epaulet, okay? And I think the red ones, and this is the weird thing about uniform, and we talked about it in the uniform video. The Boy Scouts don't take an article of clothing and disavow it. They don't say, you can't wear that. No. They've never done that to anything. You can wear a red beret from the 70s. That's totally okay. They've never gotten rid of anything in scouting. So if you have red epaulets, go ahead and wear them. I'm fine with that. I don't see a problem with that. Now, there are groups like in Wood Badge and NYLT also that will have special made epaulets that they'll wear. I've also seen the high adventure places will also have embroidered epaulets. So that's totally fine. It is kind of a gray area as far as the color. But if you're brand new to scouting, I think you're only going to get the green ones for a troop. I think that's the only thing that's out there. You might find some of the red ones brand new in the bag from eBay or something. So that's a possibility. But typically, I think the switch over to the green, yeah, I can see your point. I think the red ones are better myself. I like the red ones, but I've been wearing the gray ones way too long. The ones that made out of duct tape. So, my goodness, we have gone 20. Oh my gosh, 2 hours and 20 people. That is awesome. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up. So, we've got some more questions. I think. Oh, thank you so much. There's so many different things in here. Oh, there's another. Woohoo. Thank you so much, Michael D. Got to go. Good night. Good night, Michael. Thank you so much for all that you do in scouting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, he's a diehard fan. I like Mike. Mike's good. All righty. All right. I'm going to go through these and I'm going to quick scan. There's a bunch of questions, and you probably see them over there on the side. I don't see any yes and no's, and I'm just got 3, it looks like. So I'm just going to, this is a double. All right. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm a troop dean. Am I looking at the right Dean from Youth Discipline? There we are. All right. Oh, see, when I put my cursor over it, it goes away. I don't think I'm ever going to have a good program that does this. I don't know. If you were with me in the early days of this, oh man, I could barely see any of this. This was microscopically small. All right. And being the Magoo of scouting, can barely see it. All right. I'm in a troop. All right. From youth discipline to tell another scout to shut the blank. Yeah. Scouting eye supervisor. The best thing you can do, and this is throughout scouting, if you find scouts that are discourteous to one another, because that is a scout law, maybe take them aside and just say, look, we need to talk about scout spirit and talk about the scout law. Friendly, courteous, kind, those are huge. They're laws. Those key words are the law. Okay. What do they mean to you? Does that your behavior mirror that? That's something you need to ask the youth. If they're doing that, you need to do that. If it's an adult, you need to immediately take them aside, and they need to apologize. They need to apologize not just to the leadership, but they need to apologize to the youth they said it to. That is so required. But the youth, they need, so many youth and different areas will depend on if it's an issue. Okay. To my standards, I don't believe a youth should be saying the F word. That's not cool. And it's true for the adults too. Now, if there's other adults and they're just goofing off and, it's part of a joke or something, that's something they need to think about. So, that's separate. But yeah, discipline towards the scout law is important. Something to keep in mind. Eagle boards a review. I still need some of the Eagle recommendation letters, right? Yep. I gave out already the mail, blah, blah, blah. Who some of them should do it. That's one of the big things about the Eagle board that needs to be nailed down. And I've been meaning to put together, probably be season 11, but I want to put together a script about that process, about the Eagle process that's going on. It's kind of a part 4 of that series that's on the channel. I want to make sure that this is understood. Once the application has been verified by council, it is sent back, usually by email or physically, to the scout. And at that point, that's when the unit, not the advancement people outside of the unit is supposed to obtain those letters. And they're supposed to go sealed, not to the scout, but to the actual troop. The troop actually gets them. And they stay sealed all the way to the board. Okay. If they're emailed, which is fine, they need to be printed out, put in envelopes, and sealed. Okay. By the advancement people, not by the candidate. Okay. The candidate's not supposed to see them ever. Okay. They don't see them. That is review letters that are needed. Now, there are in the guide to advancement, there is guidelines on how all that is processed, and that's something to definitely look into. So, but from a youth standpoint, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You will get your board review. It'll happen. It is on the list. Okay, believe me, I've got 8 currently waiting for the troop to get the letters back and do the right thing and get to me and get a date. And they're running out of dates. They need to really work hard at it. All right, one more question. What questions are they not allowed to be asked during the board of review? The board of review is just a review. It's not a test. They're not allowed to test. Okay, they can't say, how do you tell me how to tie a knot? Okay. They could ask you something like, why is it important to learn knots? Why is that an important scout skill? That could be a question. But they can't ask, throw you a rope and say, tie me a knot. It doesn't, those are questions. The retesting is not part of the review. Keep that in mind. It's not a review if you're testing again. Okay. The very first 2 words in the scout law: trustworthy, loyal. The board is loyal and trusts that the adult leaders did their job. Okay. They don't need to do it again. Right. So they don't have to test again. That is one of those things. You got to keep that in mind. It is not a test of all those scouting skills. Here's a knife, tell me how to do it. That's not something that they do in a board review. They want to see if all that scouting spaghetti is sticking to the scout. That's really what they're looking for. They want to make sure that all of those values, those moral points, have been driven home and put into memory and able to be used to answer questions. That's the essence of it. So as a youth, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. It's going to be just fine. Okay. But it's going to be serious, and it's going to be about scout oath and scout law. That's what you should relate everything back to. That's what I tell when I'm in a board review, I always say, hey, relax. It's okay. If you need a timeout, you can ask for it. We're on your side. We want to make sure that everything is just right. Okay. That you are actually qualified for the job. It's an application, right? We're making sure you're qualified to do the job of Eagle Scout. Be a heck of a thing if they were not qualified, right? So that's really what we're putting in there to make sure that goes. Wow, we went almost 2 hours and 10 minutes. Well, I thank everybody for hanging around. We got to call it a night because it is just I'm kind of exhausted because of all the stuff going on, and I want to personally thank everybody for just hanging in there and dealing with the one man show. is always a fun thing. What happened if they start testing? Don't worry. Don't worry. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. There's so many things like that that a lot of people get very upset about. So don't get upset about it. It's a simple thing, and it can be challenging. So just best to take a breath, take a moment, think about your answers. I always tell the scouts they can say yes and no. I don't mind, but they got to say why. Okay. That we want to hear them talk more than the people on the board, because we want to know if all that scouting spaghetti stuck. And we want to make sure that that's the important bit. So of an Eagle board review. Wow, we really focused on that tonight. That's awesome. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. And if you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps. They call it algorithm. I call it audience. Okay, it helps all the other audiences that are on YouTube by giving me that thumbs up if you think value from what you've heard. And I really appreciate all that you do in scouting. Keep up that hard work. And I will definitely see you on the trail.